This morning we will tour First Friends Meetinghouse in Richmond, Indiana. The meeting house was erected in 1878 by industrious Quakers, and in 1926 underwent a major renovation and enlargement, adding a new Sunday school wing at the south end of the original building and a parsonage. The most recent additions have been the new entrance on the south side of the building facing the parking lot and the three-story elevator. Now, 120 years later, this failing fortress of faith faces demolition. We'll start our tour at the Main Street entrance on the west side of the building and go immediately up the stairs to the second level. To the left, we see a short stairway leading to the second floor passageway along the west side of the building, and directly ahead, the balcony. This doorway at the top of the balcony leads into a large parlor, added as part of the 1926 renovation, and often used as an adult and high school classroom and lounge. Returning to the balcony, we see the folding doors which open to the meeting room when the balcony was occupied. At the west end of the balcony is the storage room. Through this door is a narrow stairway leading up to the attic over the storage room and the parlor we have just left. This stairway is steep and narrow, and the light bulbs are missing from the sockets, so we grope in the darkness. What light we find is coming in through the windows along the east side of the meeting house, playing along the beams and rafters supporting the roof of the original 1878 structure. We climb a ladder by flashlight and see the expansive space between the ceiling of the meeting room and the roof. Down off the ladder we have found a light bulb and explore the attic above the room we have just visited. And now back down the steep, narrow stairs to the storage room. Again, the balcony. At the top of the stairs, at the east end of the balcony, this door opens into the attic along the east side of the building. It's approached by the ladder there. At our right, as we enter the attic, we see the brick of the old original building. This space runs the entire length of the original structure. At some time, the original trusses were reinforced with an extensive network of steel rods. We are looking into the vault under the steeply pitched roof. And here are our culprits. 3 of these truss anchors are splintering and may fail completely at any time. The masonry in which they are seated is crumbling. This anchor has lost nearly all its support. Only a splinter there is sitting in the anchor seat. Now we have climbed up a ladder and have walked out over the ceiling of the meeting room to get a closer view of the roof structure. And we look down into that corridor where we were in, down along the east side of the attic. And the original brick. Leaving the attic behind, let's explore the classrooms in the east end of the Sunday school wing. This is the hallway on the second floor in the east wing of the Sunday school building. Circle U has been using these as storage rooms since they vacated their basement space when the building was condemned. The north side rooms off this hall are all in use for storage. On the south side of the hall, this room at the end has become Circle U's office. we have complete segregation here. All the women's restrooms are on the east side of the building. We will see the men's restrooms on the west side. Now we'll move over to the west wing. We'll have to go through the balcony to do that. If the folding door is still open, we'll take a look down in. We'll move on now into the hallway of the west wing. And the first room, this room here, is a Sunday school room and sometimes used as a lounge. Now we'll move down the hall, past the men's room, we're on the west side now, to the children's Sunday school room. This room is on the north side of the hallway. And at the end of the wing, that window on your left opens out on 15th Street. The other rooms are filled with articles from the evacuation. This is another Sunday school room on the south side of the hall and is in active use at this time. I think this is the junior high school group's room. Back in the hall, it looks like somebody has closed the door on the right there into the balcony. We're going to go up these short stairs, and this is the west corridor along the west side of the meeting room on the second level. When the building was filled to capacity, there were usually folding chairs up here that could be set up. The windows facing the meeting room opened, and this area served as a second balcony. There was a small restroom in this place. And this was the kitchen which served the upstairs parlor. We'll see that shortly. This window is looking north toward Main Street, and now we're looking into the kitchen. That's a west-facing window there. Before we get to the parlor, we'll go through a door here into the pipe chamber. The organ pipes were housed here. The room has two large grills. This grill faces out into the meeting room. And this one faces into the choir loft. Leaving the pipe loft, we'll move into the large parlor, which is the same size as the Amy Marvel parlor, which is directly beneath it. This spacious room was once the home to the Quaker Mates, an adult Sunday school class. These are east-facing windows, and in the distance are the west-facing windows. The windows on the right outside wall face Main Street. One member of the class or another would usually arrive early in the winter time to get the fire started in the fireplace. Now, on the east side, as we have left the parlor, we have another pipe loft, which is identical to the one on the right side of the west side of the parlor, which we saw before. Now we are going down the east stairs, and we have to negotiate this landing here. On our right there, where the janitor is the door to the Amy Marvel parlor, and ahead the door to the choir loft. Here's the parlor. Let's look into the choir loft here just a moment. Now, here we are in the Amy Marvel parlor, which as yet hasn't been emptied. This is a gracious room for wedding receptions, for women's society meetings, for choir rehearsals, and other gatherings. This door at the west end of the parlor will lead us into the kitchen. This white cabinet on the left is for storage of the choir robes. Leaving the kitchen toward the choir loft, we'll look over to the right here to see the small restroom and the emergency exit on the west side of the building. The library, separated from the main meeting room by the folding doors, was once filled with pews. In the 20s, after the renovation, the 30s, the Richmond High School held its baccalaureate services in the meeting room. First Friends had the largest seating capacity, for this type of service. The balcony was filled, the corridor that we passed through was filled, and the library pews were filled. It wasn't a library at that time. Now it's our present meeting room. The kitchen, which is immediately adjacent, has recently been modernized in the past 30 years at least. This serves as the food preparation center for the after-meeting coffees. The vault is on the west wall of the kitchen. This doorway leads back into the library. Here on the west wall is the door to the vault and the commemorative plaque. Leaving now, we'll pass through the library to the elevator lobby, which you see here. These are the east stairs going down to the Sunday school rooms and up to the balcony. On the first floor, we're looking at the elevator, which has newly been installed in the last 10 years, down the hallway looking east in the first floor Sunday school wing. And now the elevator lobby and the new entrance onto the parking lot. Now we're going down the hall and on the south side of the hall we'll see the kindergarten room. And now we'll look into the nursery. These rooms are both on the south side of the hall, and now we'll go over to the north side of the hall. And here is another Sunday school room at the very end of the hall on the east end of the wing. The next room on the north side of the hall is the Christian Education Office and Conference Room. Other commissions and committees use this room also for their regularly scheduled meetings. The long table in the center of the room was formerly in the library before the library became the meeting room. Now we'll go over to the west wing, and here we are in the west wing. You can tell it's the west wing. All the men's rooms are on the west side. The doorway ahead opens out onto 15th Street, and now we're in one of the south side rooms, which is a combination lounge and little mini business office. I think the copier is in this room. And the end room on this south side of the hall is the pastor's office. We're going across the hall now and into the church office. All the current records of the meeting are kept here in the office. The older records of the meeting are stored in the vault, some of them going back to 1878. Did we go inside the vault? No. We ought to see the inside of the vault before we leave. Now here we are back at the vault. There is the builder's stone for the 1823 meeting house, which the 1878 meeting house replaced. Now this is the front part of the vault, and if it weren't for the people working here, there wouldn't be much light in here. There are no windows in the vault. Many of the records have been removed and are now in the Earlham archives. Back here in the back part, it's pretty dark, but maybe you can see the empty shelves where the archives had been stored. Now that we're back on the east side of the building, that's the door on 15th Street. Let's go downstairs. The elevator here, fortunately, goes all the way to the basement. This restroom is a rather recent remodeling project to accommodate visitors who are coming here for their meals, which Circle U provides. This former Sunday school classroom along the south side of the East Hall in the basement of the East Wing has been taken over by the meeting's flower department. Flower arrangements, flower pots, vases are stored here for future use in the meeting. Even this space here under the stairs is used for storage.